London is home to some of the most expensive luxury apartments in the world. And a spot on the Thames with a river view is particularly desirable. In September 2003, newly married Richard and Jessica Freeman moved into their luxury penthouse duplex apartment in Docklands. Back then, forensic accountant Richard never imagined this would result in his one-man crusade to save the building at the centre of one of the biggest insurance claims in UK building history. 6 years after moving in, the Freemans are unable to live in their home, and it's a building site with an endless list of devastating problems.
It's a shell. We were going to drown in agony because it was so uncomfortable and so unpleasant.
They immediately fell in love with the penthouse flat and paid £650,000 for the three-bedroom duplex apartment with a huge wall of glass and a roof terrace garden. As an artist, it was perfect for Jessica.
I loved the view. It was just flooded with light.
But very quickly, their problems began.
Our honeymoon was interrupted almost immediately by literally the roof coming down in the bedroom.
And water came and woke me up in the middle of the night by splashing on my face.
Water literally poured in. We were aghast. We couldn't imagine what was going on.
Richard called in the builders.
We then had privately to force the builder to put things right, and they did change the roof. What they didn't do was do it correctly.
The leaks continued.
On 2 occasions, I was up to my ankles in water. We were living with a bucket at that point, and we ended up living with that bucket for 2 or 3 years.
But things took a turn for the worse. The leaks created damp patches, and they appeared to be alive.
I thought, well, how did this animal get into the closet? And I sort of started to scream to say there's a big furry thing in the closet, when I saw suddenly that it was actually hairs growing out the wall. And I thought, ugh, there's something revolting in the cupboard.
Jessica had no idea what it was until she had people to stay.
I had friends come from America who looked at my ceiling and said, "You've got toxic mold." And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "That's really dangerous."
Richard managed to track down one of the few people in the UK that could help, building forensics consultant Jeff Charlton. Jeff trained in the States, where the dangers of toxic mold have been widely researched, and links made with asthma, bronchitis, and various allergies.
He came in and did some tests, and it came up with severely high readings.
The mould I found in the Freeman's flat was Stachybotrys and Penicillin aspergillus. There was about 16 other moulds as well that were growing there, but these were the 2 ones that was of great concern to me.
I thought, oh, how could I have allowed ourselves to live in these dangerous circumstances?
The Freemans were adamant that their flat should be mould-free, and Jeff knew how to do it.
We completely decontaminated the flat with foam and with an aerosolised hydrogen peroxide.
We pulled out the kitchen, and we basically pulled out everything where any mould could be.
By now, Richard had brought in the National House Building Council, who insure new-build homes, to investigate the cause of their leaks.
The reality is that behind a plasterboard, you do not know what's there.
The building had originally been signed off by an NHBC inspector, but this time, Richard wanted the investigations to go deeper, to the very core of the structure. And as they tore back the layers, the extent of the problems revealed was shocking.
Every time we, the builders, NHBC, have resolved a problem, we found something else.
As the flat was peeled back like an onion, I really didn't want to see it, because it was quite painful to me to see our flat being ripped apart.
There were just more and more defects.
Water's coming down from there and coming down through here, and you can see the water staining there. This is not connected with that. You can see it's just absurd. They found that there was no connection there at all. It was just held in place by the plasterboard.
But the most serious and dangerous problem of all was with something fundamental in any building: fire protection.
Now, these columns need to be coated with fire preventive material to stop the temperature getting too high, because if not, then if the steel becomes too hot, it melts, just like the Twin Towers, and the whole thing collapses.
As if that wasn't enough, fire chimneys were also revealed. Holes that led all the way up from the underground garage to the top floor had never been sealed. In the event of a fire, these holes would act as chimneys by sucking flames up through the building, fast. But living in an apartment means that your problems are shared. It soon became clear that the faults revealed in the Freeman's stripped-back penthouse ran throughout the entire block.
It has gone from flat roof repair to a complete and total refurbishment.
But Richard wasn't fazed. He applied his forensic accounting skills to the challenge of solving this problem. He was determined to save the entire apartment block.
He has been as tenacious as a bulldog, and he has been a forensic builder.
Richard became chairman of the Residents' Association, won the right to manage the building, and put in a communal claim for the entire apartment block to the NHBC. But a claim of this scale was unprecedented.
It seemed to be taking forever to fix that apartment. More and more problems seemed to be coming up, which were going to take even longer to fix that apartment. I just felt sad. I was just so depressed.
The NHBC has agreed to fix the structural defects in one of their largest payouts ever. While repairs take place, residents have had to move out of their apartments. Almost 6 years after it was supposed to be finished, it's still a building site.
I went through a 10-year divorce in America. And I would say that this experience was pretty similar.
Richard and Jessica had hoped to start their married life properly, moving back into their luxury penthouse by spring 2009, but there's no chance of that. More problems have since been discovered, and they still have no definite date for moving back home. For some people, real luxury